Software programs are normally written and compiled for certain hardware platforms. It is very important that the software is compatible with all the components of the computer. For instance, you cannot run software written for a Windows computer on a Macintosh computer or a Linux computer. Actually, you can, but you need to have some special emulation software or a virtual machine installed. Even with the special software installed, it is still normally best to run a program on the kind of computer for which it was intended. There are two basic kinds of software you will need to learn about as an IT professional. The first is closed source or proprietary software, which you are not free to modify and improve. An example of this kind of software is Microsoft Windows or Adobe Photoshop. This software model is so popular that some people believe it's the only model there is, but there's a whole other world of software out there. The other kind of software is called open source software, which is normally free to use and modify, with some restrictions, of course. Examples of this kind of software include most popular programming languages, operating systems such as Linux, and thousands of applications such as Mozilla Firefox and OpenOffice. But what is the real difference between open source and closed source software? Is open source software just about saving money? Let's investigate. Let's say, for instance, you find a bug in the latest version of Mozilla Firefox. The bug is causing a major project to fail, and you need to fix it right away. This is not very likely to happen, I realize, but it's just an example. You might take the following steps. Step 1. Download and unzip or uncompress the source code from Mozilla. Step 2. Use an integrated development environment, or IDE, and a debugger to find and fix the bug in the source code. Please note that you will need to know a little C++ to debug applications such as this. Step 3. Test the fix and then use a compiler to turn the source code into a binary file. This can take a long time for big programs. Once the source code is compiled, then the program should work. Step 4. You are almost done. Now send the bug fix back to the Mozilla Firefox team. They may even use your bug fix in the next release. Now imagine that you find a bug in a proprietary code base such as Microsoft Word. What can you do? Not much. Just file a bug report and hope someone fixes it at some point. This is a rather radical example, but I think it illustrates to a large degree why programmers generally prefer open source software to closed source alternatives. Good programmers love code and they want to access it. Hiding the code from a programmer is like hiding the car engine from an auto mechanic. We don't like it. Now you have learned a little about software. You will learn more about software applications and programming in later units.